Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's Commander Deck Tech, we are covering one of the brand new Kamigawa cards. We are doing Satoru Umezawa. He's possibly the best new ninja commander now. So he is 3 mana, right? You're still black-blue, 2/4, but whenever you activate ninjutsu ability, you may look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, the rest of them bottom of your library in any order. Only triggers once a turn. But here's the key piece while we're playing this commander. Each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu for 4 mana. It's a cheating effect. We can cheat any card, doesn't matter what CMC, we can just cheat it to play tapped and attacking provided they don't block. So, of course, you're going to build the deck around big dumb scary creatures that shouldn't be 4 mana. So I've tried to build the deck around traditional ninjas, lots of cheap unblockables that can hopefully get through, and of course some big fat payoff cards as well as black-blue control, because why not? So into the ninjas. The Steel Wind is probably one of the more iconic cards from the original Kamigawa. He's 5 mana, but he has ninjutsu for 4. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may search the library for a ninja card, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. But also, pay 2, target ninja cannot be blocked this turn. Very powerful in the sense that most ninja cards have effects that say when they deal combat damage to a player, do X effect. The fact that you just make ninjas unblockable is pretty good. The brand new Silver Fur Master, he himself has ninjutsu for 2 mana and cast for 2. But ninjutsu abilities cost 2 less to activate. That's pretty strong, plus he buffs all the ninjas in the deck. And then you got the brand new Thousand Face Shadow. Couldn't just be a little 1/1 for 1, just pretty generic little dude. But ninjutsu for 4, which then enters battlefield from your hand. If it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token it creates is also tapped and attacking. That is strong, and the token gets to stay on the battlefield too. God knows what you make a copy of. Could be maybe another Steel Colossus. Who knew? There could be another one coming through and your opponent might not be able to block it. It could be anything. And then you've got Inkai's Servant of Oni, which I totally have a thing for. This is one of my most favorite Magic cards ever. Just enough that I have, hopefully it won't be too shiny, I have 6 pre-release copies and 3 from the Vault 20s all slabbed up in a 3x3, as well as an OG Inkai's gold label 9.5. I really like Inkai's. It's such a cool card. It's one of my favorites, so of course, it's gonna be in the ninja deck. Inkai's has ninjutsu at 5 mana. If it hits your opponent, you pretty much steal from the graveyard. Plus, she has regenerate 2 for 2 mana. It's a very strong push creature. The main thing is we're going to steal their best creatures that we either destroy or mill later on. Sakashima's Student, this card has gone up massively in price. I think it's going to get it to $100 right now, only because of the hype around the new set and Ninja Commander. Based in ninjutsu at 2 mana, enters the battlefield as a copy of any other creature on the battlefield except it's a ninja. Your opponent themselves could have a game-winning creature that you might like a copy of. Let's say little 1/1 unblockable got through, boom, 2 mana, here it is, deal with my problem. It's a very strong creature and I can kind of see why $80, $90, but hey, it is what it is. Fallen Shinobi, when he hits an opponent, they exile top 2 cards of the library, and you may, to end a turn, play those cards without paying the mana cost. That is scary strong at ninjutsu for 4. You can play the lands, you can play the best creatures, you can play removal, board wipes, whatever thanks to that little guy. But these 3 guys here kind of have a draw theme to them. Yukuro herself, she used to be one of the best ninja commanders out there, and probably still is, it'll be up for debate. Her ninjutsu doesn't work by default on herself now, but your commander does give her a new form of it. Whenever a ninja you control does damage to a player, bring a top card of your library, and then each opponent loses life equal to CMC, and you draw the card. Very strong in the fact it's all your ninja tribe. Ninja of the Deep Hours just hits a player, draw a card, and then the Infiltrator, whenever a ninja you control hits a player, draw a card. Very strong cards to have in this deck, just extra draw in the combat area. So these guys here all do a little bit of something, a little bit different. The Secret Way itself lets you see your opponent's hand on hit, but 2 mana can bounce back ninjas back to your hand only during your turn, but really good to set up for more ninjutsu later on in future turns. The Mistblade, when he hits them, he bounces back creatures to the owner's hands. The Gang Shinobi, when they hit people, they have to ditch 2 cards from their hand. And Throat Slitter's Doomblade on a hit. These guys are just cool little effects to have. To get our ninja through, or trigger ninjutsu, we have to have lots of cheap unblockable creatures, and that's pretty much how we're going to get there. The main idea would be you play a 1-drop that can't be blocked, it attacks, opponent can't block it, thanks to your commander, you pay 4 mana, boom, here's a big threat, now you're dead. So the little guys we're looking at is we've got Umezawa's Fugitive, which is a 2-drop, but it makes all creatures you control with 1 power or toughness unblockable. Really good effect, just kind of nice blank extra unblockable effect in the board. I love the Changeling Outcast. He's a 1-drop that has Changeling and he can't be blocked, so he's a ninja that can't be blocked at 1 mana. He's so good. Has a lot of synergy with all your true ninjas. The Voidwalker, 2 mana, has Shadow. Shadow might as well say can't be blocked unless your opponent is running Shadow themselves, which is very unlikely. If an opponent's cards be put to the grave from anywhere, you exile them instead, and then you can sack the Voidwalker, choose a card that he exiled, and you may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. The fact that a 2-drop can randomly cast an Eldrazi for free because your opponent milled it by accident is really scary strong. Just a little unblockable guy that can do it. The Seer, this is actually insanely good value for a card like this in this deck. It's a 2-mana 1/1 with Shadow. Again, probably unblockable in most cases. But when it leaves play, draw a card. So every time you bounce it back to your hand for ninjutsu, you get to draw a card. Really good little synergy there. The Nether Trader, again, Shadow, pretty much unblockable, has haste. But the reason why he's in this deck is, if another creature you control would be put to graveyard from the battlefield, you can pay 1 mana to res him. So you've always got an unblockable going on to hopefully get that ninjutsu through. Invisible Stalk is just a pain in the butt for your opponent to deal with. He has hexproof and cannot be blocked. And then you got just the Triton and the Slither Blade, which are just 2 cheapy 1-drops that can't be blocked. Hopefully these are enough effects to get through your ninjutsu, but we also have a lot of forms of unblockable or semi-blockable creatures in the land slots too. We'll cover that. Now these guys here don't have true unblockable, but they're cheap, often with flying, and good luck to your opponent to try and block him. Ornithopter is a free creature to play, no mana cost at all, has flying. It's a 0/2, but it still can attack, so it technically won't be blocked, therefore you can ninjutsu it back to your hand to trade in for Blightsteel Colossus or something. The Hope, a weird little creature. I run it here because it's probably going to get through. It's a 1-drop flyer, your opponent might not block it, but if it does hit them, you can sack it, and they can't play non-creature spells to your next turn. It's not bad, it can kind of gum up their board, slow down the game plan, could be an option. The Fairy Seer is actually a really pushed little 1-drop when you think about it. A 1-drop 1/1 flying that when it enters scry 2. Sure, okay, I'll take that. And the Baleful Strix is a really good creature, flying Death Touch with 2 mana, 1/1. Enters, draw a card. Good thing is if you bounce it back and play it again for another ninjutsu, keep drawing cards off it. Now this is the reward why we're playing this commander. These are cards that hopefully can ninjutsu in for 4 mana. Of course, $50 of Blightsteel Colossus, but it might just win you the game. 11/11 effect, it's a problem. Some playgroups don't like it, some do, up to you, but hey, I'm running it. Try and just one-shot someone across the table. Now my boy Jin, I love all the Praetors, they're all scary strong. Now he's actually returned in Kamigawa, but when we're doing the OG version, at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. Each opponent's maximum hand size is nuked by 7, so unless they have a modifier to keep their hand size is gone, they've got no hand at all. The fact that he's a 10 mana creature that you can possibly cheat in 4 mana with the commander, that is good, that is scary good. His sister Sheldred, now the reason why I like her is she probably won't be doing any resurrecting for you because if you get her out nice and early with 4 mana, you probably don't have much of a graveyard to work with yet, but she puts instant pressure on your opponent, making them to sack creatures beginning each upkeep, just straight out the gate. So you cheat her in through ninjutsu, they take a whopping 6 damage, also has Swamp Walk, which could possibly come in handy, they might not be able to block it again, and they just have to start sacking creatures on the beginning of their turn. Now I do run two Elderazis here, I run the Void Winnower and It That Betrays. So with the Void, they can't cast spells with even CMC, and creatures with even CMC can't block. So it makes it hard for your opponent to block, and it locks in what spells it can play. Also a cheap card, and it hits for 11, which is pretty good. It That Betrays, the Annihilator trigger doesn't work with ninjutsu out the gate because it's already been declared as an attacker. It's more of a replacement effect, but on the next turn it does trigger. But if opponents start sacrificing things, crack and fetch lands, stuff like that, we get those permanents, which is pretty cool. I like these two because they're not expensive for Eldrazi, but a lot of people totally will run the big dumb Eldrazi like your Yulamog, your Emrakul, stuff like that. Toxiril, the brand new one from Innistrad, the big old slug. He's actually pretty cool with his commander. So beginning your end step, you put a slime counter on everything that's not yours. Each creature gets -1/-1 for each counter on it. When something dies, you get a slug token, and you can sack those slugs to draw cards. It's doing a lot on one creature. Him at 7 mana down to 4 is pretty cool with the commander. Then you got Mind Leech Mass and the Lord of the Void. Kind of doing similar things. When the Leech hits them, you look at their hand, you play a non-land from their hand without paying its mana cost, plus they take 6 damage to the head. Lord of the Void, they exile top 7 cards off the library and you can play a creature for free. That's when these two hit their opponents. I like using my opponent's resources to win games, what can I say? And Runescar Demon, when he enters, he just tutors for something. Probably one of these big boys, maybe a removal, a board wipe, a counterspell, something. You might need to win the game. Now, the cool thing about the big payoff cards with this commander is it's whatever you like. You can play with, if you want to play all with Eldrazi, some people will and probably are going to. It's up to you. It's your own preference on the big dumb creatures. What big dumb creatures do you want to try and play in Magic for 4 mana? That's up to you. I like these ones. I like playing with my opponent's resources. Okay, on to supporting themes. A brand new Planeswalker from Kamigawa. I think it's pronounced Kaito, I'm going to go with. I'm probably butchering it. He's cheap, he's black-blue, he's 3 mana. He's got a cool little fox pet, but when he enters battlefield, This turn, he phases out, but his abilities are pretty cool. +1, draw a card, then ditch a card unless you're attacked. Not really a downside because we're in a ninja deck where we're doing a lot of attacking, trying to get those ninjutsu triggered through. -2, creates a little 1/1 ninja that can't be blocked. Love it, interacts with a lot of synergy in our themes, plus unblockable. And -7, you can emblem whenever a creature you control disconnected to a player. You search your library for a black-blue creature and put it onto the battlefield. Basically, any creature hits your opponent, get another creature from your library onto the battlefield. He's game-breaking, surprise. Of course, he's $50. Will he go down? Will he see play? We don't know yet. And then you've got Thassa, God of the Sea. I like her. She's a cheap god at 3 mana. The scry effect is really nice to have. You might get her online, might be able to bash some heads with her. But paying 2 mana to make any creature unblockable is pretty good, thanks to ninjutsu, of course. Now, Smoke Shroud's kind of a weird card, but I want to keep it here for the flavor. It's a 2 mana enchantment that gives a crypt creature flying in 1/1. But if a ninja enters the battlefield under your control, return it from the graveyard to attach to that creature. So every time you're ninjutsuing a creature, the thing keeps coming back from the yard back into the battlefield. It's just like a constant buff and flying, so extra evasion. I think it's alright, actually. We run Helm of the Host, which can be a pretty nutty card because it stops a legend rule. It's stacked with some really scary cards. Put it on your commander for redundancy. Put it on that big dumb slug thing to have multiple stacking effects of neg counters, drawing effects, stuff like that. Put it on multiple Blight Steals, just try and crush your opponent. Maybe put it on Mistblade Shinobi, have multiple ninjas that when they hit your opponent start bouncing back the board. It's pretty much good on any creature in the deck, like there's not going to be much of a downside. Lightning Greaves, protection of your commander, probably. The Cloak gives the creature unblockable, and Shroud, again, probably for your commander, protection. I like Sword of Animist actually quite a bit in this kind of deck because you've got all the unblockable. So it's increasing damage you get to your opponent. And every time the creature's attacking, you're getting basic land from your library onto the battlefield. But the thing with the sword, I feel a lot of commander games, you end up just putting it on a weenie and chucking it at the opponent, accepting it might die just to draw a card. But you have to keep paying that re-equip cost. But in this deck, the creature kind of hangs around and doesn't get killed in combat, so you get to keep the effect going. I like it. Now onto the draw. Black-blue does draw well. Black-blue does draw very expensive to do it well. Rustic Study is a good card, it deserves still $30. Can they please reprint it as an uncommon or something, just nuke it into the ground. Whenever your opponent's played a card, you get to draw a card unless they pay one. Multiplayer game, good card. Fricks Arena, just draw extra card each of your turns, you lose a life pretty much. I do like Recon Mission, because it's all about us dealing combat damage to draw cards, and if it's mid-late game, you don't need it, you got enough draw, whatever, just ditch your cycling, draw another card. It's got options. Silent Blood, Preordain, and Brainstorming, just your cheapy one and done draws that work well for the deck. Reanimate, I do like having a one-off reanimate spell because you do have a couple real big spicy creatures. If they get killed, they get milled or get countered or something, your opponent might not expect a reanimation spell and just boom, Blight Steals back again, deal with it. I like it, can kind of catch people out. On to the cheek clapping spells. Again, Damnation and Cyclonic Rift are probably the 2 best board wipes in blue-black, and they're expensive, about 30 each. Black-blue competitive is sucky. In terms of more direct removal, I do like Feed the Storm, hitting enchantments. I do like aggressive spells like Baleful Mastery and Infernal Grasp, both can be played at 2 mana. I like Snap, bouncing something back out of the way to hopefully get ninjutsu through. Pongify just wrecks the creature nice and cheap. And I run Counterspell, Mana Leak, and Negate because they're cheap and they're effective at what they do. In terms of mana, I want to keep the mana rocks cheaper and able to get color out of them early because of the way the deck works. We have a lot of 1/2 drops that need color, that need to get out there attacking early on to hopefully get ninjutsu going. So Sol Ring's a must-have, but your Dimir Signet, Arcane Signet are pretty good. Talisman of Dom is very good. In fact, I don't care if I'm taking 1 damage from blue or black, I need that. Commander Sphere, mid-late game, I'm sacking that thing out because we're a pretty cheap deck. It'll be draw later on. Dimir Kirun can be handy though. It can be a 2-mana activated, unblockable creature. If you need that ninjutsu badly, it could be a form of winning the game right there. And onto the lands. 1 land here, you can definitely cut if you want to save the money, but I'm just putting here for example, Inkmoth Nexus and Blinkmoth Nexus. Both pay 1 mana, become a 1/1 flying creature that your opponent might not be able to block because they wouldn't expect it. They don't expect unblockable creatures or hard to block creatures in the land slot. Inkmoth Nexus is $50 because of the infect part of it. Totally remove it if you want to save the money. But those 2 are possible creatures that can sneak through which you can ninjutsu in. Creeping Tar Pit itself becomes an unblockable creature. The Fairy Conclave becomes a little 2/1 fly which is hard to block. And the Mutavault is 1 mana 2/2 that your opponent might not expect. So these are hopefully creatures you can cheat in if you need to. To help get things out there fast or hopefully not be blocked, Death Storehouse makes a target creature, legendary creature have fear for 1 mana. use it on your commander, use it onto multiple legendary creatures in your deck, and it might be a way to sneak another creature through for just more damage, and if you need to, ninjutsu. Hold of the Bandit Lord, pay 3 life, use this to cast a creature, it has haste. If you need to get a weenie out nice and early, fling it into the opponent, use that creature to hopefully ninjutsu as well. Blighted Fen, use it to clear the way, it makes your opponent have to sack a creature, and Soaring Seacliff gives your creature flying again, hopefully just get over your opponent and get in there for the damage. Rogue's Passage and Access Tunnel, both tap for mana, but can make a creature unblockable, which will be handy. Arcane Lighthouse to remove a lot of your opponent's protection because we do have a lot of targeted removal. Wreck Tower because we do draw quite a bit, especially with our commander, I would like to keep it. Maze's If doesn't tap for mana, but it hopefully lets us be more aggressive because we don't have to worry about blocking as much, knowing we just remove a problem from the combat. The Sanctum, I keep saying it, I really like it for a land. If your opponent doesn't deal with the creature, they have to deal with your commander for the rest of the game pretty much being indestructible unless they can exile it. It makes a target legendary creature a god and then puts a counter on it. And then, next turn you can pay the 4 mana, sack it, put an indestructible counter on target god. Make your commander indestructible, it hangs around for a lot longer. Field of the Dead is kind of a no-brainer. We have lots of weird lands going on, so if you have 7 or more lands at different names, every land on the 7th and onwards, you just start making zombie tokens. It helps gum up the board, makes more creatures that might not get blocked in ninjutsu, and just probably helps win the game. In terms of coloured, I actually didn't go expensive, I just go like your $10 dual colour lands that kind of get you there. Things like Shipwreck Marsh, Tainted Isle, Fetid Pool, Sunken Hollow, Choked Estuary, sure it's relevant, Temple of Deceit, Drowned Catacomb, Command Tower, just normal dual colour lands, nothing bad. I do like Bad River, it's a cheap polluted delta, it's your black-blue slow fetch land. In terms of basics, I just run 5 of each one. So Satoru Umezawa is a pretty strong commander. Is it better than Yoriko for a ninja commander? It could be. I don't know, it's hard to say. The Tiger Shadow is all about just dealing damage through the revealing off top of your deck through unblockable creatures, which can actually hemorrhage opponents pretty bad. This guy can just insta-kill some big dumb scary creature. Getting Blightsteel Colossus out for 4 mana, tapped and attacking, that's a kill. That's a free win right there. So, I'd say they're probably even. Totally different playstyle. I think this guy's pretty fun. You just pretty much have a section of your deck just for your true ninjas that are native that have cool effects and tribal support. You have a section of your deck which is just your cheap unblockable creatures. And you have a small bit here for, this is the good shit I want to cheat out. So, I think he's a great commander. There'll probably be more spoilers that come out that can help this deck. But right now I feel like there's enough that we can really make something decent out of him. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts, and have a good one. Ta-ta. Why does black-blue good stuff have to be so expensive? Ugh, they need to reprint so many things in this game. I don't want to pay $30 for bloody Damnations or Ristic Studies. See you guys. Thanks for watching the video guys. If you liked it, give the video a like. It helps out the channel a lot. Please consider subbing. There are a lot of cool commanders in the new Kamigawa set that I do want to cover. The brand new Jin, we're going to have to do him. He seems interesting. Real like mono blue control will be fun, I think. And to my patrons, thank you for your direct support. I cannot thank you guys enough. I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thank you guys.